Listen, this may be the most memorable moment of the draft. I'm still scratching my head on how in the world did the Minnesota Timberwolves swoop in on this draft. They came in like you know what in the night. I mean, seriously. The Timberwolves have acquired, the number 8 pick, which was Rob Dillingham from the San Antonio Spurs. We all know the San Antonio Spurs. They're a very smart organization. This draft was viewed as a weak draft. It was this, it was that, and it looks like the Spurs is playing a long game. The San Antonio Spurs, I repeat, have agreed to send Kentucky guard Rob Dillingham, number 8. The Spurs added to the future draft pick stash by acquiring the 2031 unprotected first round pick and the 2030 top one protected pick swap from the Timberwolves. Minnesota adds another backcourt option next to Anthony Edwards. That's what makes it the most spooky. We all know Mike Conley is creeping up in age. If I'm not mistaken, he's 36 years old. Even though he's still playing at a very good level, we all know Father Time is calling. Now, Rob Dillingham is explosive. You understand? We all know what he could do. A lot of people criticize him, but a lot of people pretty much praise him. You know, um, Rob Dillingham joined his Kentucky backcourt mate Reed Shepard as a top 10 pick. So we all know what Kentucky has been doing throughout the duration. And like I said, he's got some people there, in Minnesota. I love what he could possibly bring to that championship caliber team. I don't they look like they're brewing the pieces of a championship team. And I think Rob Dillingham, is gonna, take it to another level. It's gonna give them an injection of life that they just don't have. You know, we all know that Rudy Gobert trade was crazy. But I do want to tell you before I get into the Rudy Gobert trade. Look at Clutch Sports. Look who was front and center in this deal. This was a very, very Rich Paul kind of move. His clients ain't even getting in the league yet, and they getting traded. They making blockbusters. This is what Rich Paul is known for. Rich Paul is known for getting guys and move. I think he really finds entertainment in the trade process. Relocating players, and I think that's something that a guy like Rich Paul, he needs to emphasize that a little bit more. He try to act like he's really a kind of agent where if you're in a situation, maybe you coming up on free agency, maybe it's time to get paid, maybe you need to find a different locale. That's when you hire Rich Paul. Because he's gonna get you every single dollar that you owed. And he's gonna make sure that you get to the locale that you're looking for. I can't wait till Rob. I can't wait to Rob actually break down on how this even happened. But I did listen to with some of the things Minnesota was thinking. They clearly looking to use Rob Dillingham off the bench, so that's good for Rob. So automatically you coming into a team that is going to the postseason, they have their stars. You don't Rob this is what makes it very dangerous for a guy like Rob Dillingham, who I think already had promise. You're coming into a situation, you don't have to be the man. They have the man. You don't have to be the number 2 option. Hell, you ain't even got to be the number 3 option. You just got to come in here and produce and just do your thing. And I think his thing is going to be very explosive. It's going to add another layer of explosiveness next to Anthony Edwards. I think long term that could be the backcourt, Edwards and Rob. I think that Rob Dillingham is going to, do his thing. I'm not surprised. You had Calipari there. We all know Cat, and it's pretty crazy. To say the least. We all, obviously everybody's thinking about what he could do with Anthony Edwards, but you got 2 big guys there. He's a point guard. This guy, he could shoot. He like people look at him as almost like a microwave, kind of player. Who could get hot real quick. I'm comparing him to guys like J.R. Smith, guys like that. I think this is the kind of player he could become. Obviously he's got to, he got to do his thing defensively, but he's a shot maker. He's clutch. and he's got that swagger, and next to Anthony Edwards, who oozed, Paul's swagger. I think that, Rob Dillingham, he's just gonna fit right in with what's going on. He just gonna fit right in. And I think this is gonna elevate Anthony Edwards. Edwards is a guy, obviously, he proven to be the go-to guy for the Minnesota Timberwolves. He is the face of the franchise, point blank, period. But he exhibited a lot of leadership this postseason in particular. And I think he's going to lead in on that. And now that you have a young, promising rookie, top 10 pick, possibly could have been one of the future focal points for San Antonio. He was going to play with Wemby. If you're not going to play with Wemby, you go to Minnesota. That's why I say I don't know what happened here. That's pretty wild to me. I don't know if he didn't want to play next to Castle. I don't know why. Why would you? I don't know. I don't think that Minnesota just did this out of the curiosity. I think they genuinely maybe pushed for this. I don't know. I genuinely don't know what happened here. Did San Antonio move him? Did Rob want to go to Minnesota? How did all of this happen? How? Because this is very strange. Okay, yeah, Minnesota, they swoop in maybe on some pick after the lottery, but you swoop in the top 10 and you was knocking on the NBA Finals door. That's spooky to me. How they just came in here like that. So they dominated the draft. There was a lot of good picks, but when I heard Minnesota rolled in, that's crazy. So obviously, the Rudy Gobert trade, I thought they was picked out. Like I said, I couldn't believe it. But now you see they moved future. San Antonio also has swap rights with Dallas in 2030 draft and can pick between the more favorable of the Minnesota or Dallas picks. The 8th pick was set to be San Antonio's second selection of the night, with number 4 pick going to Spurs guard Stephon Castle from UConn. San Antonio still has, picks that they use tonight. We'll get into that later. That's why it's paramount for you to hit the like button and most definitely hit the subscribe button. It's Flight Sports. Spurs general manager Brian Wright. He's trying to figure things out. I want to know what this was about. He also said that I think the decision you make over time around your flexibility, around adaptivity, and the ways with which you can build. We've been pretty consistent with that, and we want to build something that's sustainable, and you go to build it brick by brick, and we hope to do that. But I think all of the decisions that we made to this point have been under the premise that we'll keep going with that. So I don't know. I think that may have been a mistake. But y'all let me know in the comments section. It's Flight Sports TV. Peace and love. You already know.